About Citi, when you think about our treasury and trade solutions business, we're in over 90 countries with clients. We have an expansive network that enables our clients to manage their liquidity, manage their payments, manage financings and vendors, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
What clients really want is the ability to be multi-border, multi-asset, and be able to do these things 24/7 all the time.
Like stable coin.
And our token services business, our Citi token services business, enables our clients to do those things, and we're continuing to invest in that. Where stablecoin comes in is with this Genius Act. I think it creates an opportunity for us to be able to serve people who will be issuing stablecoins and to have an option for those clients that we serve today.
Yeah,
whether it be reserving, whether it be on and off ramping, conversion from coin to cash, those are services we'll be able to provide. So we view that as an opportunity for us. But we feel very good about the competitive advantage we have with our network and with our Citi token service.
Hey, what's going on, Bull Runners? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ryan Huggins with your daily dose of crypto news that could change the game for your portfolio. Imagine this: one crypto is absolutely dominating trading in a major market. A $2 trillion banking giant just dropped a bombshell about crypto adoption, and the SEC is hitting the brakes on a decision that could shake up the ETF world. But here's the thing: time's ticking, these stories are moving fast, and if you don't stay ahead, you can miss out on massive opportunities. Today, we're diving into why XRP is stealing the show in South Korea, why Citibank's latest move is a signal for mainstream crypto adoption, and what the SEC's delay means for your investments. So stick with me until the end, because I'm dropping an exclusive sneak peek into a crypto group that's helping thousands navigate these wild markets, and you don't want to miss this. Plus, we will be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news happening in the crypto world today. We're also going to be jumping over to Forex Factory, finding out the important information you need to know, red folder financial news. We'll do a deeper dive into the SEC delaying in-kind redemption for the crypto ETFs. We'll talk more about the crypto bill moving forward after 9-hour stalemate. And we will be jumping into the XRP charts at the end of this video, so close to breaking out to a new all-time high. Will it be today? We're going to take a look at that. We're also going to be looking at the long-term and short-term momentum waves and so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the crypto news like we do for you here on this channel every single day, make sure you subscribe right now. And if you are feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. First things first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap. Check out the overall health of the crypto market. As you can see right now, the total market cap, $3.81 trillion. We're up 1.63%.
Hey, what's up, my friend? Nick here. Quick heads up for all you smart investors watching this. If you love to see your crypto actually working for you, earning passive income every single day on your coins, we're putting together something really cool. On July 20th, we're running our first ever free online event challenge. It's called the Crypto Passive Cash Flow Challenge. And it's basically 3 days where you'll learn our DeFi strategies we use to safely earn passive yield on our coins 24/7, even while we sleep. And some people are doing crazy numbers with this strategy alone. And if you had some coins that you're just holding on to, you should join us and discover how to put them to work. We've never done anything like this publicly before, and we probably won't ever do it again. So it's completely free, but we might have to limit spots to keep the quality high and give everyone proper attention with the size of our YouTube channel, over 360,000 subscribers now. So if you want in, just click the link below this video, grab your spot while you can. And now back to the video.
And this is on the back of $219 billion worth of trading volume in the last 24 hours. And we are breaking out above a new all-time high in total crypto market. Congratulations, you are a genius for being in crypto right now. We are at 70 on the Fear and Greed Index. So in the good, sweet spot right now. Once we get into that extreme greed, we need to start paying close attention and being cautious. Altcoin season index, we still have so much more to go. Very exciting for all you altcoin holders. We're only at 37 out of 100. We don't really get serious until 50. Then we get extremely serious above 75. So pay close attention. And what do we need to pay close attention to? Bitcoin dominance at 61.8%. This is very, very positive news for us. It was up in the 65% recently. It is finally having a pullback in Bitcoin dominance. Having a look at the Bitcoin ETF tracker, as you know, this is a great leading indicator for where volume is going. As we can see, a massive day of inflows into Bitcoin yesterday, $800 million. But ladies and gentlemen, please have a look right here. We've been following this for months now. Ethereum's ETF inflows, $726 million. Absolutely insane. The volume doesn't happen like this for Ethereum's inflows until now. As you can see, the last 2 weeks are the largest weeks of inflows ever for the Ethereum ETFs. Over $1 billion worth of Ether inflows. And we've been following along with this when we started chugging along. So very exciting for all of you that got into Ethereum. Congratulations. Top 6 cryptos by total market cap. Bitcoin right now at $118,600. Ethereum at number 2 at $3,400. XRP at number 3 at $3.23. But look at this, 33% up this week. Tether at number 4 at $1, BNB at number 5 for $726, and Solana wrapping it up at number 6 at $174. All right, guys, huge positive news coming out today. So as we can see yesterday, if you guys were watching and paying attention to X.com, you saw that the producer price inflation was down, which was positive, meaning the people who are making products, there isn't inflation incorporated into them right now. Now, consumer price inflation, however, we are paying a little bit more, as we saw on Tuesday coming out, as a tad smidge up higher. It was quite a bit higher than last year, obviously. But what's interesting is their tariffs were supposed to ruin the entire economy for producers, not really consumers. So producers are not paying more at the moment, but unfortunately, they're already raising prices on us to cover that. But the most important thing that we needed to cover today was right here, unemployment claims. This came out this morning, projected at 233,000, and it was another phenomenal beat. Look at this, 221,000. That's coming in 12,000 under this. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but the fact that it's green instead of red is so powerful psychologically for the financial markets. So great news today, and that's why we're seeing pumps to the upside. Heading over to X to find out the breaking news that's happening right now. Don't forget to follow us, because right now we are giving $100 away every single week worth of XRP. And congratulations to Lenovo One TRB for winning our previous contest. And you know how easy it is to win? All you have to do is follow us, BULLRUNNERS HQ on X.com. Like, retweet, and comment this post that is pinned right now. And then subscribe to our daily crypto newsletter by clicking the link. When you come to the page, all you're going to do is click the orange button, grab my free secrets, which is a free ebook, Altcoin Secrets, the underground guidebook to becoming a crypto millionaire. Click the orange button, enter your best email address, and click the orange button again, and you're all set. So let's go through the rapid fire news here. XRP joins corporate treasuries now. As you know, Bitcoin treasuries are popular. Ethereum treasuries are popular. Well, Hyperbit just became the latest public company to quietly accumulate XRP. Documented, verified, the shift is real. So this is very exciting now. They did buy Hype, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, USDC, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano for their treasury in their company. Very smart move, actually, to be diversified as far as that goes. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you guys, and we tell you to pay attention to this, what you need to do is go follow Whale Alert. Now, what you're going to look for is a specific post, because they post a lot of stuff about transferring here and transferring there. But what you want to see is right here, USDT minted at Tether Treasury, because when Tether is minting new USDT, that means new volume is coming into the Bitcoin markets, and there's going to be a pump for Bitcoin. Now, what's really interesting right here is you can see this post came out after another one that came out a little while earlier. So that's why I tagged. I was like, oh my gosh, this is $2 billion getting printed yesterday at the Tether headquarters. You need to pay attention to Bitcoin. And sure enough, markets are rallying. Also, just in, Federal Reserve Bostic says he would hold off on cutting rates now. Now, Bostic was the guy who said that he was actually for getting a rate cut in July, which we obviously know is not going to happen because it's come and gone. But then there's also rate cuts coming in September. Well, Bostic is now backtracking on the fact that he wanted to rate cut in December. This is not very exciting as far as the world economy goes. The United States does have too high of interest rates right now. The Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's taking out his anger on Donald Trump through the American people by not lowering the interest rates, which is such a brutal blow to us. We should have easier ways to buy houses. We should have easier ways to get affordable car loans, but we can't because of the feud with Donald and Jerome. But unfortunately, it looks like we may not even be getting interest rates reduction in September because this just happened yesterday, pivot. But in reality, there was this huge push. Everyone was agreeing. It was like an 80+%. It was going to happen in September, but they may be backtracking. So we'll pay close attention to that. Make sure you subscribe so we'll get that updated for you. And speaking of treasury companies, top 10 companies now holding $1.6 million worth of ETH, $5 billion in reserves, with SharpLink leading the way. Now, SharpLink was the biggest one. They announced it and they told everyone that they were going to be doing this. It's a gaming company and they do hold the largest amount. They have 280,000, but Ethereum Foundation, obviously they hold it. But take a look at these other companies: Pulse Chain, Bitmine, Coinbase, Golem Foundation, Bit Digital, Gnosis DAO, U.S. government, Lido DAO, BTCS, Ethereum Name Service, Frax Finance, and Arbitrum, all holding massive amounts of Ethereum as their Ethereum treasuries for their company. Now, SharpLink is really the only company outside of crypto, though. So who else is going to be coming into this game in the future? We know that Ethereum is a base layer for Web3. All right, guys. Time to go ahead and get to one of the main topics that we were talking about right here. So just in, XRP retains the #1 spot for 24-hour trading volume in South Korea. That's right, XRP taking out everyone else. Ethereum, Bitcoin, all of them. XRP recording over $500 million. And the reason this matters is South Korea is the crypto powerhouse known for driving massive price rallies. Remember the kimchi premium. This is the all-time high ever on XRP, as people call it, at $3.80, when that's not really the all-time high. $3.40 is the current all-time high. That $3.80 was on one exchange out of South Korea, and it was a mistake that it happened. But you keep on fighting that $3.80. But anyway, this surge right now shows XRP's growing popularity and could push prices higher, especially with the recent climb towards $3.30, $3.40. Are we going to break that $3.50? Well, for investors, this is a sign to watch XRP closer. And it's not just retail traders. Big players might be moving in too. Have you noticed XRP's crazy volume lately? Drop a comment with your thoughts down below on XRP price. Where is it headed? What is your prediction? And also in the intro, as you saw, Citibank, $2 trillion CFO announces crypto on and off ramps. Yes, this is very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Big news. Citibank, the $2 trillion asset manager, just announced that they're rolling out on and off ramps. And this means that they're building a bridge for clients to easily move money between traditional banking and crypto markets. And the reason this matters is when a banking giant like Citi steps into crypto, it's a huge signal that mainstream adoption is here. On and off ramps make it easier for everyday people and institutions to buy and sell crypto, which could drive massive inflows. And XRP, built for fast cross-border payments, is perfectly positioned to benefit, especially with banks already using Ripple's tech. And this could be a game changer for XRP's price and utility. And as we talked about earlier with the Jerome Powell scenario, well, customers are not paying for tariffs. And we kind of went over this when we went over the Forex Factory News. Corporation margins are starting to expand, so foreigners are eating all the tariff costs. So what does this mean? Well, this is what we've been talking about for quite some time. Let's say that you are a company that runs here in the United States. You are basically a drop shipper, so you sell widgets. You buy your widgets from China. Let's say you buy $100,000 worth of widgets normally, and then you would pay the lower tariffs when they were coming here and coming here and coming here. Well, Trump imposes these new tariffs. So what you would do for your widget manufacturer, hey, widget company, China, I wanted to let you know I can no longer pay $100,000 for these items. But if you would like to continue doing business with me, I'm willing to pay $80,000 for them because I'm going to pay $20,000 in tariffs when they get here. And that's what's happening. So a lot of people said, oh, that will never happen, right? No one, all these manufacturers in China, they're not going to lower their prices, but it is happening. So the smart consumers of the United States that are buying these manufactured products from overseas are having to use some sales skills. They're having to go in and negotiate better pricing for themselves from their suppliers, and they are doing it. So congratulations to the United States business people. The consumer price index is below month after month. And that was the big news, obviously, that came out yesterday. PPI falls to 2.3, lower than expectations. Now, some massive news that did come out yesterday for Ripple as well. In a partnership with Control Alt and the Dubai Land Department, Ripple Custody will deliver scalable and secure storage for the Dubai Land Department's tokenized real estate title deeds, which have been issued on the XRP ledger, enabling fractional ownership, transparency, and global access to Dubai's real estate market. And on top of that, Dubai just announced that you don't have to be a Dubai resident to now buy property in Dubai. So people don't have to go there, get their residency, and do all of that to be able to buy property there. They can now simply buy property. You can be an American that buys property in Dubai, and you can buy it through Ripple. So let's talk a little bit about this Genius Act bill. Take a listen to this.
Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Normally what we see is Democrats kind of blocking some of these bills that the Republicans have wanted to get through. But in this case, you and a couple of your Democratic congressmen sent a letter to your colleagues suggesting that they actually vote for this bill, because even though the bill's not perfect, you think it would be worse to have no progress made.
That's right, Becky. You know, we've been working on these bills in some form or another for years to finally bring some certainty to the marketplace, to protect consumers. So you've got two really good bills that are the result of lots of bipartisan work over the years, and it's time we actually get these done. It's not only good for the economy and making sure that America leads, but to finally protect consumers from a lot of these snake oil salesmen and other crypto that's out there that, as you know, is not exactly on the up and up. It's finally time to actually have not only certainty from a regulatory perspective, but to have protections in place.
And what's the feedback you've gotten from your Democratic colleagues?
I mean, you've got two bills, right? The Genius Act, which we'll vote on first, as you mentioned, which defines stable coins, ensures that they're backed one-to-one by dollars or equivalents, and guarantees that in the world, the dollar remains king. That bill, I think you're going to see really strong bipartisan support for, and we've gotten very good feedback on that. The other bill, called the Clarity Act, will also get at least a few dozen, in my opinion, members on the Democratic side, in addition to a lot of Republicans. And that bill sets up the oversight, the market structure, right, from CFTC and the SEC, and says who's in charge of what, which has been missing from the space now for many years. You're seeing a lot more Democrats over the week understand it, come on board. And you've got some people on the outside who want to make everything about Trump, as you brought up, as always an issue. I think the big thing I keep saying to my colleagues is, do you want to make sure that consumers are protected and that the Trump family coin, the meme coin, has some regulatory structure, has some oversight versus just the Wild West, which is what we have now? And if we do nothing, you'll just be right in the place where we are. There'll be absolutely no oversight, no protection for consumers, no certainty in the marketplace, and that's unacceptable. So I think you're going to see great movement here today, finally, after the Freedom Caucus, has spent the last days throwing tacks on the road and trying to do what they do, which is just obstruct and cause problems. We're finally going to see some movement today.
The U.S. House has moved forward with 3 crypto bills after the record-long procedural vote saw a group of Republicans hold out to ensure language banning CBDC. So thank you for doing that. But as you saw in the video, this is a bipartisan scenario now. But the big fight that was going on overnight was attaching our Anti-CBD Surveillance State Act to the NDAA will ensure unelected bureaucrats are never allowed to trade America's financial privacy for the CCP-style surveillance tool. POTUS made it clear our legislation is a key piece of our America First agenda, and we will deliver. The CBDC ban was a sticking point, and I'm glad that they actually stood their ground and fought for that, because we do not want a central bank digital currency in the United States. The back and forth on this dragged on for over 9 hours and is the longest in the House's history, beating a previous record set earlier this month during a vote for Trump's tax and spending mega bill, the One Big Beautiful Bill. Also, SEC is delaying in-kind redemptions for Bitwise crypto ETFs. According to the Wednesday SEC filing, the regulatory will take more time to decide whether to allow in-kind redemptions for New York Stock Exchange, ARCA, and Bitwise Bitcoin, Ether, and spot ETFs. The time limit for the decision was extended, but the underlying limit remains 45 days, extendable to no more than 90 days. The commission finds it appropriate to designate a longer period within which to take action on the proposed rule change so that it has sufficient time to consider proposed rule change and issue raised therein. The language in these things are so freaking annoying. Like, they said the same thing 4 times in one sentence. But here is the ruling, as you can see here. So in kind is delayed. And as always, the SEC is accused of foot dragging right now. And the reason all this matters is ETF approvals are a big deal because they bring in billions of traditional investors. As you saw that I show you in the beginning of every video here, make sure you subscribe. The SEC's delay shows that they're still cautious, but with a more crypto-friendly administration coming, analysts like Bloomberg, James Seifert give XRP ETFs an 85% chance and the approval for late of 2025. A delay now could mean bigger clarity later, but it's keeping markets on edge. And we know that the XRP ETFs are coming, and if they get the green light, we could see price surges like Bitcoin's after its ETF approvals. Are you bullish on the XRP ETFs getting approved this year? Let me know down in the comments section. Make sure you hit that like button. All right, guys, so let's jump into the charts over here. So our short-term momentum waves have maxed out at the upper levels at 100. So looking really strong and positive here. Now, we may be a little overbought at this market time, but the market continues to pump, as we can see. Long-term momentum is looking very nice. It broke above this level here, the 0 line. As you can see, when we were riding red, it was down in the bottom. But as soon as we broke above this, and you can use this indicator, it is free. It's called the Wolfpack indicator. I use the settings of 10 and 30. But as you see, once we broke above it, it did consolidate for about a week and then really broke out and ripped to the upside from $2.20 to $3.25. That's a full $1.05 move at this point. Now, what we also want to take a look at, we talked about these important support and resistance levels. Now that they are gone, let's get rid of those. Let's go ahead and drop to our Heikin-Ashi candles, and let's go to the 4-hour chart, and we're going to find our supply and demand zone from our previous all-time high. So here we have the massive push to the upside that finally got us our real all-time high of $3.40. So let's go ahead and draw a horizontal line at that all-time high. Now, the next thing we want to find is the actual zone that started the drop, right? So we had this massive push to the upside. The last green candle before the drop would be this candle right here. And you can see that that has been a very important area of interest when we switch back to traditional candles. You can see when it first happened, right? Price surged up to a new all-time high, came down, price surged back into this same zone, but the bodies of those candles could not break it. In fact, just the wick out to the outside, and this was back on January 20th. So when we go to our current present day, take a look at where it hit. Exactly in that zone. Now, right now, it did reject off of that level. So what we're looking for right now is we've got short-term momentum pushing to the upside. The white line is our midterm momentum. It's also pushing to the upside. We did have a nice pullback right here to fill in this fair value gap that was needed from the previous 4-hour candle. Now we need to push up into this area of supply and demand. Now, this is a very key area, right? $3.27 all the way up to $3.35. Then we can surge and break above all-time highs, $3.40. That would then allow us to get into price discovery and find out where our new all-time high is going to get us to. When we take a look at the weekly charts, as we were talking about on our short-term momentum wave, we knew our long-term momentum wave was bullish, even though people are like, oh no, we're going to be crashing right before this move to the upside. But in reality, what it did is it came up and then it made this big giant W pattern and shot to the upside. So very exciting right now. We have our short-term momentum, the red-green line, moving to the upside. Here, let me show you this. There's our short-term momentum wave, and there's plenty of room for it to ride up to the hundreds, and we can maintain there. On top of that, our midterm momentum wave is shooting up with it. So very strong momentum to the upside on the weekly charts for XRP. But even take a look at this one, ladies and gentlemen. So our midterm momentum wave, this is on the 3-week chart. Okay, you want to see how much more momentum we have. The 3-week chart, we can see last time that our short-term momentum wave started making its move to the upside was right here. Prices were at 47 cents. Now, it took months to get to this next move, right? Because these are 3-week candles. But as you can see, our short-term momentum is making its way up, and it has so much room to get up to this 100 level and max out. So I'm very excited about the potential of where XRP is going. Now, these candles, like I said, is a 3-week candle. So this move could take multiple months to get us to the next level to the upside. But breaking above $3.40 is what we need to do. Now, let's go ahead and switch over. I know you guys like this a lot. This is our XRP spider lines that we've been talking about now for months. And this does come from a theory of a YouTuber. His name is Crypto Face, where you can make spider lines on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on. Well, I did it for XRP, and it does work. So if you take the Ray tool on TradingView and you connect the top of the weekly candles with the pivot point right here of the high of 2021, it will then shoot an arrow out into the future. So for example, if I just pick a random one, let's go right here, and then I put it right there. Now this is actually going to be a resistance in the future. Why? Because any point over here on the weekly charts that you connect right there will be shot into the future, giving you a support and resistance. So we'll go ahead and leave that there. But as we can see right now, what we were covering just a couple of days ago, let's look at the daily charts. Okay, so our price pushed up into our spider lines, held out right here, made the next push. Now we've broken through the 322. And this is the one I was telling you about that I was most excited about. Because look at the previous all-time high, the $3.40. It got wicky right here. Boom, boom, boom. Wicked on it twice. It poked through even on the actual run up. But right now, that price getting back to that level is $3.55. $3.55 we'll see as a potential resistance coming. Now, after that, then we get into $3.80. And then after that, that new blue line that we just drove, $4.75. Then we have another existing line, $5.40, etc. So very exciting things coming for XRP. Now let's also take a look if we go to the weekly charts, and let's throw a Fibonacci on here as well. So we'll do a Fibonacci from our previous all-time high to that most recent swing low. And let's take a look at where price gets. Well, getting back to previous all-time highs, we have officially broken the 786. So we are bullish momentum without a doubt, right? We've also got a weekly bodied candle closing above the previous high weekly bodied candle. So all that's looking great. Once we break above our previous all-time high of 340, we can look for our first fib extension. And our first fib extension gets us up here to $4.50. Our next fib extension gets us to $6.29. And our next fib extension is all the way up here at $8.08. Then we even have $9.18. So those are the numbers that I'm looking for on the way to the upside. Obviously, the most important one is breaking previous all-time high, but then let's look for it to surge to 450, and it will probably actually end up just surging all the way into a spider line, which will be closer into the 475 range. Now let's look at some potential rebounds here. What if price does fail at the previous all-time high? Because it could test it a couple of times before it actually breaks. So we're going down to our 4-hour candles here, and we're going to look at the Heikinashi 4-hour candles. We do have some supply and demand zones that come into place. So first and foremost, right here would be a pretty solid support at $2.75, $2.68. Right now, momentum looks like we're still surging up, though. So don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you here. After that, a little bit above that, we have this one right here, which will be the more urgent level of support that we can see. Now, the other thing we're going to do is, so this is where we have supports to the downside. Now, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our 1100 exponential moving average. So here on the 30 minutes, it's all the way at 250. That one's not coming into play. The 15 minutes. So the 15 minutes, as you can see, it is running right into these potential supply zone. Now, this is me being very cynical, like price is going to have a crazy pullback. Right now, it doesn't look that way. Let's go to the 5 minute. Now, the 5 minute is giving us a pretty decent support here at $2.96. The 1 minute, as you can see, the 1 minute has been a really good support along the way. So if we do have a pullback, it comes down to the 1 minute 1100 exponential moving average. We are showing a little weakness. That would bring us down into the $3.15 range. So let's just mark that off just in case. Now, I'm not saying it's coming here, but just in case, we'll take a look at that. And let's even go to the 30-second mark, right? Because this is another potential support if we have a small pullback. Because remember, we are running into a massive resistance zone right here. And the reason why I say that is because when we take a look at the daily charts, and this was based on the 4-hour supply and demand zone. You can see when price got here in the past, it's a wick, 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 right? All wicks in this zone, it's a wick. What does that mean? That means that there are bears, lots of bears, trying to sell all of their XRP at these $3.25 levels, right? Multiple times price got here, sold off to the downside. So right now we've got here and we are pushing up nicely. However, we have to have a lot of people coming into the market. We know South Korea's here. We know that some retail's coming. We don't even have spot ETFs yet, ladies and gentlemen. So imagine when spot ETFs do hit and we start to make our surges. Then looking at these numbers that we were just talking about, let's get rid of the Fibonacci. That's just, well, actually, let's look at one thing. Looking at the Fibonacci extension up here, 450, doesn't seem unrealistic anymore. But like I said, we have some really good spider lines that we're playing as our support and resistance. We broke through this one here. Let's hope that it holds as a support for us too. If not, then we could be dropping down to $3.10. And if we look at this one here on these 1100 exponential moving, 320 and 315. So 310 is a potential realistic pullback. And in fact, if you look at this, we're on traditional candles. We have this massive move to the upside. And right now it's leaving a big fat fair value gap, which the candle hasn't closed yet, but I hate fair value gaps, right? So there's one right here at the $2.97 level as well. But if you want to learn how to trade, how to find the right coins on top of just XRP, take a look at this.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and it's currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers.